Is it just avoidant attachment style, or could it be something more? In the complex realm of relationships, the differences and nuances in understanding avoidant attachment style versus narcissistic personality disorder could be a game changer and actually save you from a ton of potential heartache. So join me in this video today as I help you unravel all of the telltale signs that somebody might have narcissistic personality disorder rather than be just an avoidantly attached person. And we'll actually cover the 9 characteristics from the DSM-5 specifically that qualify somebody in terms of whether or not they have narcissistic personality disorder. And we'll pair that next to how an avoidant attachment style would act differently from this, so you can truly see those differences clear as day. And my hope for you is that by the end of this video, you know exactly how to recognize a narcissist, you know exactly how to recognize an avoidant attachment style, and in telling the difference, you can protect yourself from different potential relationship challenges that could really wind up in a lot of chaos. Now, if you're new to this channel, my name is Thais. I'm the founder of the Personal Development School and developed the Personal Development School after spending about 10 years in client-based practice, helping individuals rewire their attachment style and recondition so that they could become securely attached and have thriving relationships. And at the Personal Development School, we put together all sorts of different courses, some of which you can check out for free for limited time periods, all about attachment styles, healing, boundaries, communication, and more. Now, in a simplified and streamlined way, I'm going to take you through exactly the main conditions that are in the DSM-5 that actually constitute for somebody being able to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And these are not exactly word for word, but basically you need 5 of the following 9 components of what it means to be a narcissist to receive an official diagnosis. And this should help you to really be able to differentiate between just an attachment style versus actual narcissistic personality disorder. Now, what I want to do for this video specifically today is actually start by just defining some of the differences. And you can actually see here some of the crucial components. So when we have an avoidant attachment style and you look at what an avoidant attachment style actually is, an avoidant attachment style is a psychological and emotional set of patterns that are essentially characterized by a person's tendency to avoid emotional closeness and even dismiss the importance of close relationships as a self protective measure because essentially of painful past programming and experiences. Now, according to the DSM 5 specifically, a person with narcissistic personality disorder needs to actually demonstrate 5 or more of the following 9 criteria to showcase that they actually have narcissistic personality disorder. And the most interesting part of this to me is how big the differences actually are between somebody who's an avoidant attachment style and a narcissist, and yet how profoundly impactful it will be to know these differences. So, when we look at these 9 crucial criteria, the first sign that an avoidant attachment style is actually a narcissist is this: they have a grandiose sense of self importance. What you would see with a typical avoidant attachment style is that they may appreciate acknowledgement or even appreciate being appreciated, but they will not have a grandiose sense of self. Somebody who's grandiose thinks they are larger than life, naturally feels like they are better than other people, and all these sorts of cases where a dismissive avoidant will not. In fact, you'll often see a dismissive avoidant if they get too much attention or they're told things that are too grandiose or magnified, things like you're the best partner ever or nobody's like you. Those types of more extreme and intense compliments will actually cause an avoidant attachment style to retreat, sometimes not trust the situation or feel overwhelmed by that degree of compliments. Where instead, whether you have a grandiose narcissist or even a covert narcissist, you will see them light up and tend to crave or starve for more of these things. This is where we get the term narcissistic supply, because you'll often see with a narcissist, they're constantly needing more and more of the supply of these things. Number 2, we'll often see specifically narcissists have this ongoing fantasy of either having or being deserving of unlimited success, power, brilliance, or beauty. And you'll see, just like with anybody else, other attachment styles can fantasize. But a sign that an avoidant is actually a narcissist is that instead of just having a little bit of imagination or hope about different dynamics in their life, the fantasies they have tend to be about them having the most power over other people, the most brilliant, being better than everybody else, and basically crushing their competition in every type of way. And if you really look into some of these fantasies, those fantasies are actually about these deep needs for power that a narcissist has, and they will tend to ruminate over chronically and constantly thinking about how they can expand basically their ego through this power trip that they are experiencing in the fantasy world. We will not see an avoidant attachment style struggle with these things, although, of course, like anybody else, the avoidant attachment style may fantasize. Number three, a sense of self superiority. You will generally see that narcissists have this degree of thinking that they are better than everybody else, that everybody should sort of bow down to them and recognize how incredible they are. And they may even try to only associate themselves with other very superior people. And they'll tend to really value in their relationship building power and status and really social climbing more than anything else. And this is not something you will see with a dismissive avoidant. In fact, you will often see an avoidant attachment style have a deep inner sense of shame, which, of course, the narcissist truly shares at a more unconscious level, but their entire identity, the subconscious level, is about trying to supersede this, never wanting to look at that. Whereas a dismissive avoidant attachment style will often retreat from any sort of idea that they are superior to others. Number four, there is an excessive need for admiration for a narcissist that a dismissive avoidant attachment style does not fantasize about in the same way, nor do they require. In fact, if you give an avoidant attachment style too much admiration, they will actually shrink. They will pull away and hide. But a sign, number four, that an avoidant could actually be a narcissist is that they are constantly seeking admiration from everyone and everywhere that they go. I just wanted to jump in and share something exciting. We are actually, for the first time ever, running a promotion for 60% off of your first month at the Personal Development School. And this gives you access to all of our courses, including all of the courses about different attachment styles and how to navigate those relationships together. So, for example, if you're a full avoidant with a dismissive avoidant, how to really work through that relationship, all the different challenges, how to show up. We also have courses on boundaries, communication, healing your attachment style to becoming secure. So many different courses in there. But on top of that, I'm in there 3 days a week doing live webinars. So you can come in, ask me any questions that you have at any time, and I will be there to support you. And I'd love to chat with you. And we actually have trained coaches and facilitators who are in there all other days of the week except for Sunday. And there are community support events through them. There are webinars with them, smaller classes. So you have so much extra support in really integrating all of the materials and work in there. And I will say, as excited I am about the YouTube videos that we get to put out every single day, just because of the length of the courses and content, they're so much better than our YouTube content because you can go into so much more depth. There's workbooks, worksheets, and tons of support. So if you want to check it out and actually get 60% off of your first month for only $39 at the Personal Development School, I will put a link to access that down below. Number five, chronic sense of entitlement. We'll tend to see somebody with narcissistic personality disorder have this sense of entitlement over other people. They may think that they should be treated differently from everybody else, that people should naturally recognize how powerful and incredible they are, recognize their achievements even from a mile away. And there's this sense of feeling entitled to other people's time, to their energy, to their emotions, to their belongings, etc. This is not something you will see with an avoidant attachment style. Sign number six, that somebody is actually a narcissist and not just a dismissive avoidant attachment style, is exploitation and manipulation. In this particular sign, you will see that these things are often premeditated in various degrees. There will be an element of the narcissist actually thinking about how they can manipulate and exploit somebody and taking action steps to do so. Now, we do have a characteristic when it comes to somebody being avoidantly attached where they can be more self focused or even selfish in various ways compared to our other attachment styles. This is particularly because they had to rely on themselves in very extreme degrees growing up because of various forms of childhood emotional neglect. And so we'll often see somebody more self-oriented and self-focused who's avoidantly attached, but there's a big difference between that versus with a narcissist, somebody actually intending to think about the steps they can take to manipulate somebody into getting their needs met. Number seven, a lack of empathy. We will see somebody who is a narcissist, who actually is not just an avoidant, have a complete lack of empathy. And what you'll see really importantly here is that somebody who's struggling to empathize, they are often in a position where they don't really care to try. Somebody who's of an avoidant attachment style often does empathize, but is slow to express. But a sign that somebody's actually a narcissist is that they literally don't really bother feeling empathy, trying to feel empathy, particularly if it doesn't serve them or suit their needs. Whereas dismissive avoidant attachment style will often try to express empathy, or at least will feel some degree of empathy, even if they're not expressing it outwardly because it feels too vulnerable. Somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, it often has an obsessive and quite excessive thought process about envy. They tend to believe that everybody's envious of them, or they tend to be very envious of other people. They struggle with chronically comparing themselves with other people and spend a lot of time in general focused outwardly on other people. Whereas somebody who is of an avoidant attachment style will often not be in that particular space. They won't be chronically and constantly comparing themselves, thinking about the outside world. They tend to sort of silo out into their own space and their own world more than anything else. And last but not least, somebody who is not just an avoidant attachment style, but instead is actually a narcissist, tends to be arrogant or haughty. HAU, this is how it's actually spelled in the DSM, haughty, and it really just represents arrogant and sort of condescending patterns of behavior and communication. And it's another sign that avoidant is actually a narcissist, not just an avoidant attachment style. Now, I do have a lot of really powerful tips and tools to leave a narcissist if we are struggling to leave a narcissistic relationship because of just how addictive they can be. I actually have a whole course called Overcoming and Breaking Free from Narcissistic Abuse that you can check out. I will put the link to that course down below, as well as within that same link, you'll get access for a limited time to every single course at the Personal Development School, all about how to heal your attachment style, improve communication, heal from a breakup, heal from narcissistic abuse. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of different programs that you can go through depending on what you're experiencing or feeling right now that you want to break through in your life. And on top of that, we have daily support groups led by trained facilitators who've been training with me for the better part of the last 2 years on an ongoing basis, as well as I'm in there for 3 different days of the week. If you want to come in, ask me any questions personally, I lead support groups in there as well in a webinar style format. So you're welcome to join me, and I would love to see you on the other side. Also, if you enjoyed this video and are enjoying this channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I can't wait to see you in future videos. Thank you for watching.